कैसे ना
Yes. ಇವತ್ತಿನ ಏನು ಟಾಪಿಕ್ ಟಾಪಿಕ್
ತಡಿ
ನಮ್ಮ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ ಹೇಳ
ಕಂಟೆಂಟ್ ಅದ ನಿಕಡೆ
ಏನು
ಇಲ್ಲ ಇವತ್ತು ಇದು ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಸೆಷನ್ ಅದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಇದು ವೆಬಿನಾರ್ ಅದ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ನಲ್ಲ ಹೇಳಿ ಹೇಳಿ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಹ್ಮ್ 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 ಸರಿ ನಡೀತದೆ ನೋ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಹ್ಮ್ 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 ಏನಾಯ್ತು ಹ್ಮ್ ಹ್ಮ್ ಹೌದು ಅಲ್ಲಿಗೂ ಅಂತದ್ದು ಹೌದು ನಡ್ಕೋತ ಬರ್ಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋದು ಹ್ಮ್ 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 ಹ್ಮ್
I used my mail ID.
You used your email ID.
I mean,
ಅದ್ರೊಳಗೆ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಟ್ಟೇನೆ ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಬೇಡ
ಅಲ್ಲ
You used. Can you listen? Can you hear?
listen.
ನಿಂದು ಅನ್ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊ ಇಲ್ಲ ಅದಲ್ಲ ಇದು
ಮ್ಯೂಟ್ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತೆಗೆದುಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದು ಕೇಳಿಲಿ I used you sent mail no through that I joined. Okay, that means ನನ್ನ mail ID
ಎಲೆಕ್ಷನ್ ಜಾಗಲ್ದ
ನೀವು ಆಡ್ ಮಾಡಿರಿ ಇದು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಹಾಕಿಂಗ್
These people are ready to join now.
ಈಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ ಒಬ್ಬನ
Stay co-host.
ಎಂಟ್ರಿಂಗ್ ನೇಮ್
Stay co-host ಮಾಡು. ಟರ್ನ್ ಅಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡು. ಇವಂಗ ಏನೋ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ರಿ.
ಈಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಿ
ಏನಾಗ್ತಿದೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಇರೋದು
ಸ್ಮಾಲ್ ಬರ್ಲಿತ್ತು ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್
you can change your screen here. You can change the screens here.
ಫುಲ್ ಬರ್ಬೇಕಲ್ಲ
ಅದನ್ನ ಇಲ್ಲಂದ್ರೆ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಅದು ಆಪ್ಷನ್
ಮೂರು participant how come ಹಿಂಗ ನಾವು ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಆಗ್ಯಾನ
ಇಲ್ಲ ಅಡ್ಮಿಟ್ ಏನು ಓದಿಲ್ಲ
3 is okay, 2. Post tools? No, so is it okay? Still, usually how the control? Because here the participant's screen will be visible. Is there?
ಅದೇ ಬರ್ತಾರೆ ಈಗ ಅವ್ರು ಇಬ್ರು ಇದಾರಲ್ಲ ಈಗ
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹಂಗಾರೆ ಇಷ್ಟದ screen ಇಷ್ಟ ಆಯ್ತು. Okay, check with your other options. ಬರ್ತದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ಲಿತ್ತೆ ನೋಡು.
I'm getting like the screen. I'm getting like the screen.
Here why it is showing like
For me, it is getting full screen.
maybe full screen ಅನ್ನೋ ಆಪ್ಷನ್ ಸೆಲೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕನಿಲ್ಲ ಬೇಕಾಗಿದ್ರ ಹೌದಲ್ಲ. Chat, React, share, host tool. ದಬ ದಬ ಬಡಿವ್ರು ತಲೆ ಮೇಲೆ. ನೀವು ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಜಿನ್ ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಲೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೇಡ. ನಾ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ ಅವ್ರ ಟಾರ್ಗೆಟ್ ಇರ್ತದೆ. They won't wait. Yeah, hello everyone. Good morning. We will wait for another 2-3 minutes because few participants are joining. Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I hope I'm audible. Can anyone please unmute and say?
Yeah, you are
Yeah.
audible, ma'am.
Yeah. Thank you, Sunit. Welcome you all to the webinar. My name is Tejaswini. As you all know that today's webinar is on the topic quality of concrete. So before we get started, there are just few couple of things I just want to tell you so that you can get the most out of the this webinar. And please feel free to post your questions in the chat box. And also there will be a Q&A session at the end. Today we are excited to have Mr. Naveen Kumar Chilakwad. I just want to introduce himself before to begin the webinar. With over 2 decades of experience in the construction industry, Mr. Naveen Kumar brings with him a wealth of knowledge across quality management system, planning, training, and project delivery. He is a certified affiliate member of American Society of Civil Engineers and has consistently championed the integration of human values, professional ethics, and a positive attitude into engineering practice. His unique ability to blend technical know-how with soft skills has helped teams, organizations achieve remarkable results, especially in high-stake projects such as airport infrastructure, steel structures, and large-scale developments. Now, without wasting a single minute, I just want to hand over to Mr. Naveen Kumar so that he can get started with his session. Over to you, Mr. Naveen Kumar.
Yeah, hi. Hello, everyone. I was expecting more number of registrations. In fact, we had almost 50 plus registrations. I don't know why still no one has joined. I think I'm disturbing everyone on weekends, so I apologize for that. So I'm audible to everyone. Can anyone just put in a chat, or can anyone speak before we start?
Sir, please go ahead. It's
Yep.
audible.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Sunil. Yeah. So before starting our regular presentation, let us have a very quick question session. Like, what is the concrete, or what do you know? What is the concrete? Can anyone tell? Let us make this session as interactive as possible, so that there will be knowledge sharing as well as many things even we can learn by ourselves. So, just can anyone quickly confirm? Just quickly, quick answers, question answers. What do you mean by concrete? Puneet, Pradeep, yeah.
Mix of all the ingredients, what has been shown on the picture.
Okay, okay. Other than that, because as the subject says, quality of concrete beyond mixed design and cube testing, right? So let us understand beyond the box or out of the box. What do you understand by, what do you mean by the concrete? Mr. Rakesh, are you there? Pradeep? I could hear only Sunit.
Material which gives you toughness, hardness, strength in the structure.
Okay. Okay. So since very few people are there, so we'll quickly go with the answer. We'll wait. We will see how people will join later. Uh, as per my as per my opinion, the concrete is nothing but a heterogeneous mix of various ingredients which is designed for durability, strength, to achieve specific shape and designed purpose. Is it okay? Is that sounds logical?
Okay. Yep.
Correct.
Yeah.
So concrete is nothing but a heterogeneous mixture with of various ingredients, which is designed for durability, strength, and to achieve the specific shape and purpose of the designer. As for this, is there any other questions you want to ask, or shall we move ahead?
I think we can keep the questions in the end, sir, if you don't mind.
No. Questions in the end is very easy, but the thing is, I want all people to interact, because I know it's a Saturday and people will be there. There are many. They will have their own assignments to do, or many people are there on the site. So I just don't want them to just on the Zoom and keep it aside. So that's what my intention is. Anyway, this all anyway there will be last 10-15 minutes question session will be there. Okay, fine. So let us go to the next chart. Common misconception in quality, in concrete quality. So what are the common misconception in concrete quality? One, more cement means more stronger concrete. Concrete gets its strength in 7 days. Adding more, once concrete is hardened, concrete cannot be affected. Curing is only needed for few days, not more than that. Adding more water makes workability. All cracks mean concrete failure. Any kind of cracks, people by default they'll come to conclusion that there is a failure in concrete. All structures need same type of formwork. And last is strength equal to durability. These are the common misconceptions in a project, generally management things. But is it true? Is it true? Now let us go one by one. Concrete strength depend on concrete proportion, correct proportion of the cement. Correct proportion of the cement, water, its ingredients. And if excess cement increases, that will directly result in shrinkage. It almost generates high heat of hydration and may cause cracks. Now, may cause cracks means it is all depends upon other factors. And also many times we see the high cement content will reduce the durability of the concrete. Durability means long-term performance of the concrete. Long-term performance of the concrete. Right? Same way, the another misconception is concrete gets its strength in 7 days. Concrete reaches about 60 to 70% as per practical results. It gets 60 to 70% of its potential strength in 7 days, not 100%. Okay, and standard reference strength, I still use a political word or a legal word, that is standard reference strength is taken as 28 days, because hydration continues over the time and strength can keep improving for months under good curing. When I say months, don't come to conclusion that it is infinite. No, again the months will limit on other climatic condition, limited to 56 to 90 days. It will never be under confusion or conclusion that the strength will be unlimited or unlimited time duration. No, it will be 56 to 90 days. Another common misconception is adding more water will make easier without any issues. No, water improves flowability only. Flowability only. But beyond water cement ratio limit, the strength drops drastically. So avoid using excess water. And try a right way to improve workability by using plasticizer or super plasticizer, but that also you must take extreme care and it has to be used under proper instructions by manufacturer. Since our Indian code, most of the Indian codes are not limiting ourselves from not allowing any admixture. if you go with ASTM, it often says that any kind of admixture mixing after concrete is mixed in plant is not allowed. Our Indian codes are not refraining from that. So it is allowed, but what we say is a legal abidance that you can go with adding additional admixture or super plasticizer in consultation from admixture manufacturer only. In this, whenever I'm explaining, anyone who has any doubt, please raise your hands and you can talk. Unmute yourself and you can talk. So there is no any issue. Then next misconception will go. All cracks means concrete failure. No. Keep it away from your mind that any cracks with concrete failure. As per IS code, any crack which is more than 0.2 mm is considered as observable cracks, or another word, cracks of concern. Any crack which is less than 0.2 mm cannot be considered as a crack or failure. It can be a plastic shrinkage crack or some kind of thermal crack which is not structurally dangerous. If you want to measure, there are many tools available in the market called as thickness gauge. It is available at least in the market for around 60 to 65 rupees. You can buy that where it has 0.1 0.05 mm to 3 mm gauges are there. You can use them to measure the crack and you can come to conclusion at site whether it is a structural crack, whether it is a dangerous or not. But to solve the myth, to clear the myth, any crack which is less than 0.2 mm cannot be called as a failure. I hope I'm clear up to here. Next, curing is only needed for few days. Now, as per IS code, the curing is required for 10 days. But the expert, or my opinion personally in my 20 plus years experience, the better the curing, better you will replicate the strength with your cubes. The reason is the concrete cubes are kept under curing tank for 28 days. The structure is not generally kept or cured for 28 days. We always follow IS code which says 10 days. So after 10 days, stop, because there are any other works also going on. So generally, there will be a difference between site curing and lab curing. The ideal way of curing is required for as equal to cubes. So don't think that curing is only needed for few days. It is only a stopgap arrangement to facilitate the other works. Now, another myth, strength equal to durability. That is completely wrong. Please don't be under that impression. Strength is never equal to durability. There may be a contribution towards durability, but it is not a durability directly. So let us understand the truth of it. High compressive strength does not automatically mean long-lasting concrete. Strength means how much load concrete can resist, while durability is about resisting the other challenges like weather, chemical attacks, temperature cycles, corrosion over the time, and permeability. These are the resistivity factors. The concrete which can resist all these things is generally called as durable along with the time. Now, what do you mean by exact durability of the concrete? If you write it into a mathematical formulae, optimized mix design plus low permeability plus proper curing plus protective measures. So what does it mean? Durability is not only a strength. Strength is one of the formula part of it. Now, the basic another basic myth I would like to share here. Sorry. All structures need the same type of formwork. It is generally, in general practice, we see that the project manager insists on using same formwork for everything. It is not truth, because the formwork requirement generally depends on structural complexity, concrete finish, load bearing capacity, repetition frequency, and at the last but the bottom line is budget. Now, what kind of formwork we should use? For repetitive formworks, for high-rise column, multi-layer columns, for walls, we generally use modular steel or aluminum formwork, right? For general simple foundation, for simple slabs, we use conventional plywood. Then for complex curved or architectural structures, for flexible this formwork, or sometimes it is a fiberglass systems, we use modular formwork. Nowadays there are modular formworks which comes with liner, which gives a mirror finish, glossy finish kind of thing. So it is not you are using same formwork for all kind of work, right? Now, in that case, what is the purpose of concrete? We understood that, okay, some myths we bust now. Now, what is the purpose of concrete? As I explained, concrete is nothing but a heterogeneous mixture, correct? If it is a heterogeneous mixture, it is designed for a particular purpose, particular shape, and particular strength and durability. When there are four basic purposes, what is that which makes it more and more convenient for a builder or a designer? I hope you can see the list on the screen. So breakdown of this purpose for further purpose is structural support, obviously, because it has to support the next structures which are going to load on that, like column, beam, slab, foundation is anyway it is there. Okay, the other if any other things which are going to keep on that, for example some tanks or water tanks, fluid tanks. In the petrochemical, this one there are huge tanks will be kept on it. It is a structural support. Next is durability and longevity. As I told you, if you want to protect anything from the chemicals, weather, fire, dam, or any kind of water, it is designed. Then the next purpose, fire, correct? Concrete is inherently fire resistance. So maintaining its structural integrity and high temperature, we frequently use like boilers will have concrete liners. You might have seen many areas boilers or any kind of structure, steel structures which will carry a hot fluid or cold fluid. It may be anything, hot or freeze and thaw we call it as. Okay, so both kind of fluids, to avoid from direct natural or thermal attack, they construct a concrete barrier around them, right? Then obviously the basic, nowadays the name is getting more and more popular, called as sustainability. Sustainable concrete is nothing but concrete's ability to incorporate recycled material. Now what are the recycled material? Can anyone tell me examples of recycled material in concrete technology? You can mute yourself and you can tell.
Aggregates.
Aggregate, one of those, right? Next, anyone?
Even to certain extent, sand also.
Sand, yes, it has to be taken
Washed
extreme
and
care.
yeah, washed and all everything. Yeah.
Yes. Dinesh, are you there? You can put some your names, your view.
Even in the water also you can recycle.
Recycled water, the results are always unpredictable. So water, I always refrain from telling recycled water. Recycled water is always not that proved. So we always refrain from recycled water to be used. But that water generated from concrete, which is cleaned and treated,
Yeah,
can be
that's
used
one.
for other purpose.
Yeah, yeah, that can be used for
But
that.
you cannot reuse it in the concrete.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay, you cannot, the curing water also we avoid to use it, because curing water will always contain again the concrete calciums and other things which are released from concrete. So we always refrain from that. Okay, so I think only Sunit Sunit is talking. I don't know why. Okay, anyways, good. At least Sunit is there active.
Yeah, I think because
Appreciate.
people are less, I suppose. I don't
Yeah,
know.
I don't know why today there were around 50 plus registrations. I don't know why people have come less. Okay, anyways, if
But
any one effective listener, I'm okay with that. I'm happy with that. Okay. Then reduced maintenance. That is also work primary purpose of the, and primary purpose is reduced maintenance. Any concrete structure, if it is properly designed, cured, and obtain the strength and shape, obviously there is no maintenance option will come out, right? That structure will behave in itself in that way, because it will create a rust barrier, decay barrier, then carbonation, anti-carbonation also it will work at certain extent. Ultimately, concrete's main purpose is to protect the reinforcement which is inside. And since concrete is very poor in compression, very concrete is very high in compression, and the reinforcement is poor in compression, and it is good in tension, it has to always protect each other. So that is why we always say that cover is very important, because reinforcements are prone to get decay even very fast. So it has to be protected. So the sufficient cover has to be given. That cover is major responsibility by concrete. Then comes how concrete behaves. Concrete behavior is not only depending on mixed proportion, but there are multiple factors. Multiple factors such as shape, correct? Shape of the concrete. So shape also affects, for example, if there are sharp edges, they are often exposure to damage the edges or damage the shape. So shape of the concrete, even if you see in a dams or a bridge on the river, will have different shape of pier or columns. Same way, the shapes of the concrete in a different as per their usage. Next is workability. You cannot use same slump for all the concretes. You have to use less slump for foundations. You have to use a flowable concrete for confined spaces. You have to use a moderate slump or moderate workability for slabs and beams. So workability also influence the behavior of the concrete. The compaction, the percentage of compaction, the type of compaction. Then inadequate compaction always leaves air voids, and then once we open the shutter, we will come to know there are some honeycombs due to poor compaction, or high compaction or over compaction also leads to segregation of the aggregate from the slurry. Next comes is curing. As I told you earlier, the poor curing or poor the method of curing also affects. For example, if there is no on time curing is ensured, it will affect. Or if you do the curing for certain face and backside or a side face where it is not accessible, it is uncured, that also affects the concrete in some extent. And next is site environment. Site environment means too much windy, too much humid area like Mumbai or Chennai. Okay, hot weather like Rajasthan, Kota. These are all where I had spent my early career in Kota, where I could see that the ambient temperature goes up to 50 degree. And then I had also worked a chance to work in Mangalore, where the humidity touches up to 90 degree. In Mumbai, Chennai, the humidity level goes up to 94, 95%. I don't know how many people here from Mumbai, except I think Dinesh, I know him. He's from Mumbai. So the temperature, the humid temperature, hot temperature, the cold weather, this all affect the concrete behavior. And the last but not the least, a perfect mix can also fail. How come you say that? A perfect mix can also fail. As I told you, it is not only a mixed proportion. It is not only a mixed proportion. It is also the bad practices, the human intervention, the human error. Human error means inadequate curing. Now that is not a concrete mistake. It's a human mistake where the site supervisor or a site engineer, he shown his negligence in curing, ignoring the environmental effects. Now we know that I am working in Rajasthan. I know that I am working in humid area. I know I am working in, say, example, Jammu Kashmir, and we don't take that consideration, and we just go ahead with standard way of practicing, will also affect a concrete behavior. I hope I'm clear up to here. And then the major thing, when the failures, like minor failures like crack or honeycomb or segregation or a deterioration before the design period, if we neglect it, that is a major behavioral impact on concrete. It should not happen. We should not neglect any such kind of symptoms which can affect our mixed behavior. Then what are these influencing the concrete quality? We told that the factors, external factors, which are affecting. Now, what are the internal factors which are affecting the concrete quality? External factors we saw, curing, this, that, environmental and all. What are the internal factors which is affecting? Right? What are the internal factors affecting?
Yeah, Naveen, hi, this is Dinesh.
Yeah.
Regarding the external factors,
Hmm.
as you said, one of the factors is the curing.
Hmm.
So regarding curing, we did not discuss about the curing compound, which is one of the, you know, the most usual factor nowadays.
Yeah.
Also using at my side.
Yeah.
So, what is the your view regarding the curing compound?
Yeah. It is in the next stage.
And
Next slide. I'm going to explain that.
one more question regarding
Hmm.
curing compound, whether this is it recommended during the season of monsoon? Like we are in Mumbai, we have the
High
the
monsoon.
high amount of monsoon. So whether it
Yes.
is recommended in the season of monsoon or how?
Nowadays
Thanks.
curing compounds are coming in wax based and water based, right? So generally we recommend in monsoon, if there is a dry spell, the application of the curing compound should be done in a dry. Okay, once it gets sets, when it's get dry, especially use wax base to avoid where you don't have any coating above it in the future. You can use this wax base curing compounds, which will affect, which will support, or which will safeguard the structure from rain, because there is a wax content. Water based, yes, water based, it needs a drying time, so you must ensure the water based curing compound should be done in a dry spell, and you should give sufficient drying time to it. Once it dries, the rain cannot affect it. The only challenge is water based. We use these curing compounds when there is a coating is expected on it, like you, because water based curing compound will start vanishing after 10 days or 12 days. So you can ensure this water based curing compound during monsoon, where you need the wall or a column which is to be painted later. If there is no painting required in future, like foundation or something, you can go ahead with wax base and you can just leave it, but during application you need to have a dry spell.
See, regarding this wax base and water base, we have done lots of assessment on
Mm-hmm.
our project.
Mm-hmm.
So what we observed, like in a wax base, when we use the wax base
Mm-hmm.
curing compound
Mm-hmm.
while finishing activity, when it get
Mm-hmm.
come in at your
Mm-hmm.
project, you need
Mm.
to strike off the layer fabric.
Yes, that's what I was telling.
So
Yeah.
that is the one more the most challenge we have faced,
Hmm.
and we have gone for the water base. So in
Hmm.
water
Hmm.
base, you do not need to the strike off the
Yeah,
layer
as
under
I,
the
as I
you will
explained, it
get
will
panic.
start removing, peeling off after 10, 15 days. Yeah.
Yeah. So it
Yeah.
is by my side, it is advisable to go for water base always.
Mm-hmm.
So it can save your one of the activity I can say
Correct, correct. That's
the
what I'm also telling. If your structure has a coating above it, you don't have to go with wax base, because wax base, it is always difficult to remove or peel. Water base is always recommended for the structures which have a coating above it. But if you the underground structure, plinth beams, it doesn't need any coating above it. So you can go ahead with wax base there, because there is always moisture available in the underground, which will affect the surface of the concrete, because we don't know what kind of moisture the underground moisture is. It may have chemical, it may have sulfates which will affect the concrete surface. So wax base will have additional protection on the concrete. And generally it is a common practice nowadays. People, some of the, even one of my projects, like we had gone with a bituminous coating. Forget about this curing compound. We had directly done a bituminous coating to avoid any kind of interaction between soil and structure, underground structure. So wax base is one of the common way and affordable way to go with that.
So you mean to say that where rendering is not required, we can go with the wax base, and where rendering is required, like plastering or something like the finish is over there.
Absolutely.
So you can. And second thing, like you said, the bitumen coating, the
Hmm.
tar coating,
Hmm. Hmm.
it shall be provided for the underground structure only, na?
It is
Substructure
always
only.
suggested, because there are in Mumbai area, especially as my experience, Mumbai area has high sulfate in underground. Like there are so many chemical factories, and even chemicals are oftenly seen that people are throwing in the rivers. They are living in the river, the drains and all. They are living in the river. So the soil, and it is already reclaimed area in British era and all. So there are lot of sulfates and chemicals, alkalis and sulfates, both kind of chemicals we could see in Mumbai soil. So it is always suggested to have a anti-corrosive coating on rebar, and then the bituminous coating on the concrete surface, to have additional protection from deterioration. So far is clear, Dinesh?
Yeah.
Yeah. So let us come back to this topic where we are. The internal factors affecting the concrete behavior or influencing the concrete quality is material selection. As we know, any wrong selection of the raw material will affect the concrete mix. Then the mixing, batching and mixing. Now we all know there are two type of mixers available in the market, and third is manual mixing. Two type of mixer is drum mixing and batch mixing. Drum mixing is where the drum rotates vertically. Batch mix is where the drum rotates horizontally. The mixing pattern, though it looks same, there are some pros and cons in every all kind of mixes. So it is always suggested to go with batch mix. Why the batch mix is always resembles to a manual mixing. Why I am using this manual mix, though it is an old tradition in India where we are nowadays we don't recommend a manual mix, but still manual mixing was a controlled mixing ensured by a supervisor or a engineer who is standing there or witnessing it or supervising it. So horizontal mixing or a batch mixing is always resembling to the horizontal manual mixing, and that is why we always ensure a horizontal mix is always a better mix compared to vertical. The second reason is horizontal mixing is the drum rotates horizontally, where the vertical drum will always uh, the dry particles or dry ingredients always stuck on the edge, where we need a constant observation, where the fines which stuck to the wall has to be frequently removed or cleaned, or a banging always to be ensured, which is a laboristic job. So always a type of mixing and type of batching. As you know that IS 456, IS 10262, IS 2956, all these 2965, 66, these are all RMC related. If you see these all, there is a variation given for proportion of the aggregates and proportion of the ingredients, not aggregates, ingredients. Any ingredients proportion goes out of the limit, your mix is getting affected. Apart from that, transportation. This is a very common and very regular question or very regular queries I often hear. The transportation. Transportation, see, we generally design our concrete mix for 120 minutes. It's a very common duration we design. There are mixes available in the market for 180 minutes, always, and again 240 minutes also. 180 minutes and 240 minutes. But commonly is 120 minutes, that is 2 hours. Now within these 2 hours is your mixing, transportation, like from plant to site, and pouring. These 3 stages has to be completed within the designed time. If there is one single delay or a slight delay, will affect the concrete behavior or concrete quality. Like it will start setting earlier, there will be a segregation in observed inside, which you cannot repair it. Nothing you cannot do if that designed period lapses. Then placement or compaction. Placement or compaction also influence drastically the concrete behavior. Concrete behavior in the sense, if I hope many of people are already aware, the free fall of concrete allowed is 1.5 meter. But how many people we follow that? Do we follow 1.5 meter? Now there are 2 questions will come. 1.5 meter clear fall, 1.5 meter from shoot, or 1.5 meter on the falling area. If I am filling, say example, if I have a 750 mm concrete raft and I started pouring my concrete from a shoot edge of 1.5 meter up to the depth. The moment I reach up to the raft top, I already covered half of my limit. So can I raise the concrete fall height? These are all questions will affect the concrete quality, because parallelly we have to spread the concrete. Spreading shall not be using a vibrator. Please, my sentence are very clear. Spreading vibrators or compacting vibrators are not for spreading the concrete. It is only for compaction of the concrete. Okay, so placement and compaction is always affect. So do not use vibrators to spread the concrete. The concrete fall also affect the concrete quality. And last is concrete finishing. Once your concrete is done, then a supervisor comes and starts sprinkling the water for finishing of the concrete, which is completely a wrong practice. You should not spray any kind of water, any kind of chemical on it for a finishing purpose. You should use a natural surface and finish it. Many people they do the tamping on the concrete surface to pull the slurry up and do the finishing. That is also a wrong practice. If your concrete requires a good finish, then please design the concrete for that kind of finish by either going with a lesser size of aggregate or smaller size of aggregate, or so vice versa. Don't use a tamping or a pressing on the concrete to pull the slurry up and finish it. The reason is you are disturbing the concrete bond mix. One. Second reason, once the slurry comes on the top, it will become a brittle, or it will start losing the powder after, say example, 1 day or 2 days. When you walk, a slight formation of this powder you can observe on that, which is nothing but a loss of cement on the surface. And eventually, after 1 year or 2 year of continuous wearing on the surface, you will see the aggregate tip will start observing, and concrete will become, the surface, the floor will become rough. That is why we should avoid this kind of finishing, harsh finishing. So these are the internal factors of the concrete quality influencers. So far so good, I believe.
So hi,
Yeah.
regarding this finishing and
Hmm.
compaction,
Hmm.
so floater is recommended for finishing and compaction.
Very
How
well.
is it?
Floater is always recommended for flat surfaces,
But how does it
because it doesn't
work?
it doesn't it doesn't vibrate, or it doesn't pull the slurry up. It only takes the surface slurry or surface material for its finishing. Yeah.
No, why I'm asking, because we were discussing regarding the floater with our contractor, because we are
Mhm.
getting too many cracks on the surface of recently cast slab. So to
Okay.
avoid the shrinkage cracks, whatever is coming on this recent slabs,
Hmm.
we discussing to procure the floater machine. Nowadays, you can have the dia from, I guess, 450 to 600 minimum dia you can get for
Hmm.
the floater.
Hmm.
So which can go in the the smallest area you can capture it
Okay.
along with the smallest dia. So
Okay.
we were discussing about it, but like the challenge is the floater you have to use after some time of the finishing, na, this sort of set the concrete.
Hmm. 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 Hmm.
I guess after 30 to 45 minutes.
Hmm. Hmm. Hmm.
Like
You should take
like what? Yeah,
at least 2 to 3 hours for surface to get little bit floatable.
harden.
Yeah.
So after that we have to use the floater.
Correct.
My question is, during concreting, can we use the floater while it can be used as a compactor also?
See what happens during concrete. No, during concreting, the fine aggregate will be on the surface, where you will not, your floater will not flat. It will not sit on the surface with the flat. Okay, it is a plate at the bottom. So to have otherwise, if the moment the floater starts, it creates a vibration where it will pull the water from inside, and it will create a puddle kind of surface on the top. That is why it is always recommended to leave for at least 120, 90 to 120 minutes for surface to get harder, so that your floater and your mason who is holding the floater can walk on it.
Okay.
Yes. And just to answer your question, the cracks cannot be avoided using floater. Cracks can only be bridged. It can only create a surface layer by using floater. But the cracks eventually will start appearing. The plastic shrinkage crack will start eventually appearing from the bottom to surface after 2 to 4 hours. So if you use a floater on that, it will only surface, it will just cover it for certain time. And as I told you, the future wear and tear, it will start appearing after 28 days or 1 month. It will start appearing on the surface. So my suggestion is, before using floater, use the wedge-like structure, which generally in Mumbai side and the labor language we call it as a ghoda, where the wooden battens, wooden logs will be used with the two handles on the edges side. It will be banged on the surface, so that it will start plugging the cracks from bottom, and then you can use the floater on the top. So your cracks are filled at the right time, and it will be bonded before it gets final set, and then
So
you can
that
use
randa,
floater ceramics.
randa, you mean to say that randa, big chabi we are using to compact
Yes,
surface,
the ghoda,
that
the
we are
chavi, the
using
randa,
it,
whatever you call it.
but
Yeah.
even though we are facing the cracks in the concrete after
Hmm.
finishing
Hmm.
nowadays, and nowadays we are using the crushed sand in the concrete.
Hmm.
That may be
Hmm.
one of the reason, I guess.
Mhm. There are two
So what
reasons.
is,
As I told earlier, the concrete mixes, the raw material what we select is more important. The raw material, when I come to know, admixture also is a part of raw material, right? admixture is nowadays we use for high strength and for high durability, what we call workability. We use PC based admixture, what is called as polycarboethylene. Now polycarboether admixture is a sticky in nature, which will keep the concrete in sticky mode. It will work only for the concrete which are for column, for with set formwork. When you pour the concrete in such kind of formwork, the concrete, the PCE based admixture will give you 100% good result. But when this same admixture, when you use it for slab, it wants to hold the concrete, but there is no formwork there, so it will spread. And but still concrete, the admixture is trying to hold the concrete, but concrete is spreading, which creates a plastic shrinkage crack in the eventual areas or eventual duration. So selecting generally for such kind of slabs or a vast flat concrete, we always recommend naphtha based admixture. For a modular concrete with specified formwork or something, we use PC based admixture. Now the first question will come is how to control this. For there we are. So you have to put your efforts for supervising it, for putting your efforts to controlling it is more important here. Selecting right material for right purpose will solve many of the questions or many of the problems here.
This
Is it okay?
Please, I request if these things can be discussed later because the flow gets interrupted. I request. Yeah,
Okay.
the question answers because we have then a lot of time after this the lecture, please.
No, don't worry. I have considered all the discussions in my session. So anyway, Dinesh will discuss in the last 10
okay,
15
fine.
minutes.
Not an issue.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Thank you.
Okay. So now what is that? What is that? And why the subject of this session is beyond mixed design? Beyond mixed design in the sense, when we talk of quality beyond mixed design and cube testing, we are reminding ourselves that concrete performs in real world, not just the lab. Right? So as we discussed, concrete has its own behavior, which other factors are influencing its behavior. Correct? We also discussed the workmanship, the minor mistakes or minor challenges or minor negligencies also can affect the concrete quality. Here comes the catch, the management approach. When it comes to a management approach, how serious is your management towards maintaining the quality? When I say management, it starts from a supervisor, not only a MD or a CEO of the company. Okay, it starts from supervisor. So quality management is as essential as a project management. A proper supervision, proper training, okay, and the proper method statement, maintaining the standards at every stage. Not only okay, मैंने produce कर दिया, just भेज दिया, मेरा काम हो गया. No, it's not like that. After producing, even it applies for RMCs also. RMC's duty is not just producing and sending the concrete. It is always to take the end-to-end responsibility of the concrete. I have produced it. It is my responsibility to check whether the client is also maintaining the quality for pouring. Otherwise, there is no use of my production, my efforts for concrete production. Okay, then I will product the concrete, but what about readiness? Is the structure is ready for receiving the concrete? In my experience, I have seen so many projects where my CM or a PM used to call me that send the concrete, don't worry about whether it is ready or not. That should not be the approach, right? You should 100% ready to receive the concrete. There should be a direct communication in the form of inspection request, checklist to be signed by all, and keeping the records. Keeping the records, when I say old concrete, say example, you are going with second level of the concrete or a second layer of the concrete. What about the cube records of the first layer? Did we ever ensure whether the cubes are passing? That is the record I call it as. Without those kind of record been addressed, if there is an issue. Recently, I was called for a project for investigation. I could see that there was a concrete fail and the CPO of the company has written a mail or confirmation to concrete vendor, concrete contractor. Don't bother about cube failures. You just pour the next layer. I think my designer has considered enough factor of safety. See the approach. It's completely a wrong approach. And now it has been 2 years and the structure is getting cracks in the column of that layer because the concrete was designed for M60 and received strength was 38 MPa. See the dangerous thing. Because of top management's decision at that time to go ahead with the progress, the client, the contractor, the client is still suffering. He is not able to come out of his defect liability period because the concrete is failed. And now keeping the next layer okay and removing and replacing of the first layer is hell job. So he had to decide to support the structure and removing the entire column of 5.2 meters somewhere around. It's wrong. The management approach is very much important here. Next comes each stage matters. As I told you earlier also, each stage, you cannot neglect the stage right from selecting the material till the 28 days cube result. Observing the 28 days cube result, every stage, every day matters. The good quality engineer or good quality control engineer should be awake at site to keep on checking from day of mixing, day of reinforcement, day of formwork till the 28 days of the concrete is over. Even after also it matters with the other factors, but standard factor says 28 days is our baby's incubation period. We should take care with all kind of cares. And last is the very common problems like keep surveillance on cracks, honeycombing, scaling, weak spots. Weak spots. One of the ITC project in Mumbai. I was called by our. I was working in BKC, and exactly opposite to that, there was ITC hotel project was going on, and I was called by the site engineer there at that time to just check the problem. The column was not set for 3 days, even after opening the shutter. The finger was, it was making a fingerprints, a finger punch point inside. And when we went into curing tank, the cubes were vanished almost. The cubes were washed out due to mixing issue or whatever the reason is. The reason we came to know later. But at first instance, it was very difficult to investigate it, that why the concrete was not set. And if someone has neglected it, someone has not notified it on time, we could have ended up in disaster. So such kind of things, we must have a proper vigilance. As I told you, incubation period for 28 days till handover. Right? Now, what are the common field problem? These are as I told you, that was a holistic approach. And now we will go with common field problem. Now, what are the common field problem? We see cracking, segregation where the material due to excess water maybe, okay, sometimes the very high height drop, mishandling in the sense someone has added water, someone has excess vibration. Sometimes I could see that people do heavy vibration in the slab work also. Come on, slab is hardly 200 to 150 to 200 or 250 thick. You don't need heavy vibration there. But still people do a heavy vibration just to ensure a factor of safety. So we should refrain such kind of things, which will lead, the more you vibrate, the aggregate will set down, slurry will wash away. That is also a part of segregation. Honeycombing, obviously, as I mentioned you, low vibration or improper formwork filling. Okay, the gaps in the formwork, most of the times we reuse the form plates or formwork sheets. Then there will be, we always forget to plug the tie rod holes, which will allow the slurry go out and honeycomb happens. Sometimes excessive vibration, Slurry goes in one side, aggregate sits on one side. Scaling and spalling. Scaling and spalling, as I told you, we use excessive tamping and finishing on the floor. After some days, we can see a surface peeling, or we always call it the flaking. Or sometimes in a very heavy cold, I don't think so someone is here from Kashmir area, but in a colden region, concrete sets very fast before even doing a proper vibration, ensuring the vibration. So those lumps will remain there, and once the load comes on that gets cracked. Sometimes it is a poor curing in the sense, one side, as I told you, one side we do the curing, one side we forget the curing. So that side, the surface starts losing its cement finish on the surface. Discoloration or a bleeding. Discoloration means is nothing but your uneven color. Uneven color oftenly happens where you use multiple RMCs concrete in one column or a raft or a mass concrete areas, where multiple concretes maybe they might approve in or achieve the strength what you have designed, but someone is using, say example, ACC, someone is using Ultratech, someone is using Bharti cement or Ambuja cement, which are different in little bit variation in a shade color. Someone is using fly ash, someone is using GGBS. These are all the various factors which will give the different shade or color variation in the concrete. It may not affect the structure or design intent of the concrete, but it will not be. It is not intended by the architect also, right? Sometimes the concrete are not having any coating, so that time it will not service the purpose. It will not service the purpose of the architect. So for all these areas, what are the root cause we observed? Improper curing, poor compaction, and some of the mixed issues. Mixed issues in the sense, as I told you, aggregates are different source, cements are from different source, or someone has used just now recently we discussed the different type of admixtures we use, different type of curing compounds we use. Some oftenly I tell you, sometimes what happens, it's a water based curing compound I was recommending to one of my client, and the client was unfortunately he was a bit financially or budget oriented. He used water based curing compound, and he added water to that, and he diluted that this one just a minute. Yeah, sorry. He has diluted the curing compound, and he applied it. Obviously it will not work. And it has stopped performing. And after a few days, he could see that entire curing compound has washed away. And over on that, to save that, he saved the money by diluting the water, and he started doing a manual watering on that. See the negligence limit of this person. So this kind of things we should avoid it. Now, what are the intervention in the quality? Intervention is an interference, unwanted interference in the concrete quality. So here I would like even I could see that some people have joined recently. Can you just put light? What is your opinion on what are the interference or interventions in concrete quality? What do you understand by interference or interventions in concrete quality? Anyone? Don't worry, we are on time. So okay. So major interventions or interference in quality are workmanship based, as I told you earlier also, supervised placement, mandatory vibration, skilled finishing, worker profile. In one of our NPCIL Nuclear Power Corporation project, I was a quality manager there. There was a very good system called workmanship qualification, Mason qualification, or vibrator operator qualification, that kind of thing, where we have to test the vibrator operator, we have to test a mason, before deploying at the site. That kind of things should be made mandatory. Incentives and penalties. That is very, very important aspect of intervention. Intervention is how you can improve by you yourself intervening in this kind of negligencies and getting it out of the issues or failures. So you can reward for best concrete. Nowadays there is ICI and ACI India chapters and all. They are all awarding the projects, best concrete projects, best concrete structure. Recently, Bangalore International Airport, we have bagged best concrete structure from ICI. So these rewards and recognitions matters a lot. When you get this kind of small awards or small recognitions by external agencies, you feel overwhelmed, you feel energetic, and you perform better. So you should always intervene wherever before it goes wrong. Next comes is management based intervention, where the senior management will interfere to improve the quality. What are the management improve interventions here? Develop a proper PQP, project quality plan, proper pour plan, where to start, when to end, what should be my rate of pour, what should be my mixing ratio, how much deviation I can allow in transit time, how to mitigate the harsh weather. And last and very important thing is culture of quality. The management should introduce the culture of quality. They should not only be on the paper. They should introduce, bring some training sessions, bring some trainers from outside. I have recently given training in around 5 to 6 projects, and they were very much happy to do that. It was not because of my efforts. It was because of their own management's interest to educate their workers and engineers and supervisors towards quality, towards importance of quality. Everyone knows that how the cube is cast, but very few people know why the cube is cast, how the cube is cast, and that gives you the clear indication, clear information and seriousness about what is the quality and why the quality is so important. So far, so good, I believe. Now, we have understood how the approach should be. But what is the roadmap? How it can be achieved? One is proactive approach. Proactive approach, what are the proactive approach? Check the concrete before pouring. Pre-concrete checklist. Okay, pre-concrete checklist like plumb, everything. Then if when the concrete is done, proactive, go by yourself, check for any cracks are available, check for any voids are there, check for any honeycombing or segregation is visible. It is a proactive by the concrete supervisors or a formwork. Early identification. Identify before someone else raise the issue or raise the red flag. So you should set your own timeline and inspection period, duration, that yes, if the moment I come to know that there is de-shuttering happening, I should be there. The moment someone is the unwrapping the Hessen cloth after curing, I should be there to check. That kind of early identification. Swift action. The moment you see the honeycombing, I don't recommend to do the immediate repair, but address the issues, honeycomb and voids, address the issues with proper consultation with experts. As we all know, there are 3 types of honeycombs. One is major, minor, and severe. So minor honeycombs can be do the normal touch-up. Major honeycomb, remove the aggregates and put the normal plate and pour the micro concrete or do with rock or some kind of rendering repairs. And last one is severe, where you have to remove up to the reinforcement, put the shutter and put the micro concrete. So that kind of repairs. And last is feedback. Record what are all you have found, record what are all the corrections you have done, record the conformatives and non-conformatives and record the trainings you have undergone on specialized activities. This will help you to do a lessons learned session at the end of the project, which will also help the next generation or next team to identify and have a control in early stages at that level. Right? Now let us come to the old part where we left earlier, which I think I have already explained you. Strength versus durability. What is the difference between durability and the strength? In the first slide itself, I have addressed this, but anyway, for the new joinees, I'll just reiterate again. Concrete is not a direct strength. Concrete durability is not a strength. Strength is a part of durability, right? And the durability always have the factors such as freeze-thaw cycle, temperature, chemical attacks, sulfate attacks, carbonation. These are all, right? So the concrete strength is not directly a durability. As I told you, it is a misconception. Please come out of it. For decades, people assume that high strength is automatically a durable concrete, which is not the fact. In fact, many researchers and even the writers like Adam Neville, M.S. Shetty, they have clearly told that the cube strength does not guarantee the resistance to a real site exposures with the chemicals or temperature. Two different things. Role of water in cement water ratio. Water cement ratio, the role of water, as I explained recently by Sunit Gupta, there's a question that reusing the water and also quality of water. As I told you, once you use and recycle the water, that will have certain carbonations or certain chemicals or ground chemicals which are harmful, which may be harmful for the concrete. So we should refrain ourselves from selecting untreated water. And if you have certain restrictions to use groundwater, please get it tested with a proper IS code for construction water for concrete structures. Now, that test is already available at the NABL labs. Please get it tested for water suitability for concrete structures or usage in concrete. Then exposure based on design. Now, no shirt will fit for all. You should always select the shirt which fits you. Same way, one concrete mix design will not fit everywhere in all aspects. So we have to design with the exposure quality. If you are expert in 10262 IS 2019, there is exposure conditions they have mentioned like high, medium, severe exposure, right? So medium exposure, severe exposure, always we design our underground concrete for severe exposures. Same way, above ground structures, we design it for light exposure or medium exposures. So that based on that cement content, water cement ratio and other parameters will also affect. Then implications of practice. As I told you, the management approach towards maintaining the workmanship quality. Workmanship quality in the sense mixing quality, placing quality, transportation quality, all these things make more important in durability of concrete itself. And that way, if your strength is affected due to workmanship issues, believe that durability also get affected for this. So you should be very careful while mixing and practical care towards concrete production and placement. Next, durability approach. Nowadays, there is so much of words are happening around durability, sustainability. So let us quickly go through what does this durability approach in the concrete. As I explained you, concrete should be designed. If you are designing for durability, the parameters like temperature parameters, the climatic parameters, the demographical parameters, like whether are you constructing some structure near industry or in the hilly areas where the cold chemical weather is there, or in a humid area, that makes matter. Then mixed design to match the real exposure. As I told you, the design has to be mixed design also should be done. Not only the structural design, also the concrete mixed design should ensure the weather like coastal weather or aggressive chemicals, industrial chemicals. Supplementary cementitious materials like using fly ash, GGBS, silica. This will ensure the resistance of the concrete towards sulfate. Most of the times GGBS is considered to be a best sulfate resistance chemical, whereas flash is recommended for reducing the permeability in the concrete. It is such a fine material which will avoid unnecessary or forced water entry into the concrete, and concrete makes very controlled permeable concrete. And last is improving the resistance of sulfated chemical. As I told you, this introducing this kind of additives will improve the permeability of the concrete, right? Using SCM. Now, what is this SCM? As I explained you earlier, it is supplementary cementitious materials like fly ash, GGBS. They are very powerful tools. Huh? These are all very powerful tools because they are such a finer. They are finer than the cement, which will go and plug the cement concrete pores inside, which will control the permeability, which will obviously at the end it will improve the resistance to sulfate and chemical attack, which are essential in industrial area and sulfate prone underground structures. So far so good, I believe. Parallelly, there is a huge words nowadays going on sustainability in addition to durability. Now, what is the sustainability? As we discussed, using the recycled material. But Mr. Sunit, it is not only using recycled material, it is also using the low lead time or low lead duration or distance for shifting the materials. As per lead or as per sustainability rule or a policy, recently the Bangalore International Airport has bagged platinum status in sustainable and lead and green initiative. Platinum is the highest award given for sustainable materials used in a construction. So I'm working with Bangalore International Airport. The airport is recently awarded as platinum certification. Platinum in the sense, the primary rule of that is any material we are importing or shifting should be within 350 kilometers from the project area. Plus, you should ensure the highest material, maximum, almost every material or every part of the structure should be used for recycled. Then what makes concrete as not a green or a non-sustainable? Because concrete, the cement itself emits 8% of global CO2 emission, which is high, which is very high. And that is how the green initiative has come in, and they are planning alternative to the cement or reducing the cement content by adding the waste materials. Now, just to come back to old topic, the reused materials are also called, these fly ash, silica, rice husk, metacolin, calcinated clays, slag, these are all come into recycled product. How it is recycled product? Because they come from industrial waste, industrial byproducts. Like fly ash come from thermal power, slag comes from thermal powers, okay, glass industries, silica fumes, rice husk, majorly from the industries. So these are all these will help cement content to reduce by adding their own their own characteristics, which at initial the strength may be less, but eventually it achieves its strengths as per the design. The recycled material nowadays, we are using recycled concrete aggregate. What is, like, there are so many government initiatives, like they are giving some vendors to take the old concrete, put it in the crusher, and manufacture aggregates using those concrete, where those concrete can be used in lower grade concrete or in place of road GSBs and other things. That is also one kind of green initiative. Other alternative is geopolymers. Geopolymers, they use byproducts instead of Portland cement. So you might have heard about EcoDrain. That is a company which has come out with manufacturing the ready-made drains, small drains, surface drains. They use geopolymer concrete, which gives you a mirror finish, molded concrete, and surface to match any kind of shape you want. In near Bangalore, there is a place called Hosur, where Alto Precast is there. They use geopolymer concrete for manufacturing crash barriers for roads or any kind of barriers which is designed by government or local road government. It is by Tamil Nadu government. So the government is also putting their interest in using these geopolymers, which is right now a man-made product, man-made chemical, plus low cement, very almost zero cement, just as a binder content, no strength requirement, plus it is, it doesn't, we are not depending on natural resource that it will get over soon, or we are not depending on any quarry or something which is man-made. So there is no fear of raising the price due to shortage in the market and all. But yes, it has to be designed carefully because it is a man-designed product and suitably designed product for a specific intent. As we know, this SCM, that is supplementary cementitious material, they can be replaced up to 20 to 30% of cement content, whereas geopolymers contribute 90% of replacement of cement nowadays, right? And recently, fifth revision, they have allowed 40% to 50% of GGBS in PQC or cement structures used for infra works. That is also a good initiative by government to reduce the cement content. Then how to, as I told you, everything what we are discussing today is related to workmanship or a proactive approach towards reducing our efforts. Now, how to prevent over repair? So before repair only we should prevent the happenings. What are the things we can do? We can take care. How we will ensure early inspection so that the concrete is not set fully. So any kind of repair, the bonding will be ensured. Otherwise, once the concrete gets hard, it is very difficult and costly affair to break. Safety audit before handing over, right? Safety audit before concrete placing on a slab. Please do the proper inspection of each and every staging, scaffoldings, to avoid any kind of mishaps. Recently, we could see, even I can fetch so many videos to show here, but I'm sure that many people here, they might have gone through these Instagram videos or YouTube videos where the concrete failed when people were standing and pouring the concrete on slab. So we should early detect, and you should inspect the staging, scaffolding from an expert point of view, not by yourself. By the expert, the designer should come and check whether everything is okay as per design. Then you should pour the concrete. Investing on prevention rather than repair. Investing, in the sense, it is a management approach where management should invest on proper tools for inspection and checking rather than GP2 or a Rendrock or kind of MYK repair, concrete repair mortars. They are very costly. Rather than that, you can invest on proper sealant tapes to avoid slurry leakage. Okay, you can invest on very minor. One person will have a proper look before concrete pouring. It will reduce your further cost on repairs. And next is the very last, the sentence itself says, investing on prevention will strengthen the trust in client through the consistent quality. The last line is my very favorite line. Being I have served my career, my industry, this concrete industry or construction industry, as a client, as a contractor, as a EPC, as a PMC, all way of designations I have served. And one thing I used to see by one thing I used to believe always in my life, that we don't just save money, we ensure safety, build reliability, and deliver the projects with confidence. And that's why the principle is very clear. Prevention is over repair. It is smarter, safe, and more sustainable. Plus, it is budget friendly. If you don't use this mantra of inspecting right time, before time, and in detail, proactive approach, then you will end up in repair, which is costly, reactive, and obviously time consuming. As I told you, one of the contractor who has taken a bold place during the early level of concrete, where he agreed, where he allowed his contractor to go ahead with factor of safety, and now the fellow who has allowed that contractor to go ahead with the concrete, he is no more working in the organization, but the contractor is still present because his DLP is not getting accepted because of low strength. Who is paying here? Who is the person who is suffering? Who is the contractor? Who is the agency who is suffering? Ultimately, the contractor. Client, okay, he maybe the time permits, that is why he is holding him. But the contractor is suffering from time, money, no handing over, so his black spot on his branding, everything is getting a streak, right? So prevention is always to be considered above the repair. Do the proactive approach. Coming to the second last slide of this, we are on time. We have started a 5 minutes, 7 minutes late due to poor attendance. So I believe that I'm on time. So what are the takeaways? Quality of concrete is more than a mix design, because even the best designed mix will fail if workmanship and site practices are poor. Embrace technology and training. Use sophisticated tools like digital QC system, proper inspection, keep your workforce trained, best practices, skills. Okay, third one, make quality everyone's baby. Everyone's baby means everyone should own it. If if your construction manager or a supervisor, if he is checking the spore, he should not rush for concrete. He also should own, he should also take ownership of the concrete for as his own proprietary material or proprietary ownership. So the liability lies from engineers, managers, CEOs, owner to the workers. Conduct regular audits, improve process, or regular audit, check, and MCV, making, checking, and validation. So this checking is always having a primary importance in the construction. Always you should have checking part through audits. Either if you are in a contractor, do audit of your work supervisors and the execution team. If you are in a PMC, do the audit for contractors. If you are in a client, do the audit of PMC and the contractors periodically to ensure preventions better than repair. And last is sustainability. Everyone who is living on this earth is responsible, accountable for sustainable environment in our industry. Because other than some materials, everything is getting consumed from Mother Earth. And if that comes to an end, the future of Earth will be at stake. So we should act as a responsible person, responsible engineer, responsible citizen, and responsible habitant on Earth for our sustainability and safety. And be remember, concrete does not forgive mistake. It only hides until it comes on the surface. Our role is to prevent issues before they demand repair. Right? Now to the last slide. Let us go through some keywords by our quality gurus. Mr. Edward Deming, please read his books and his 14 principles. They are excellent. He always say, you cannot inspect quality into a product. It is overall system. Quality is everyone's responsibility. Again, Sir Edward Deming. Philip Crosby, do it right the first time. There is no second time. Third one, the bitterness of poor quality remains long after the sweetness of low price or early time is forgotten. No one will remember who built it. No one will remember how fast they built it. Everyone will see and remember what is the present condition of the structure or element, that how good it was built it. Then this is a final conclusion, which is my personal opinion. Quality is not a department, it's a habit, it's a mindset, and a collective effort towards accomplishment of a successful project. By this, I always end my webinar with this quote: attitude is everything. I hope some of the team members have attended my earlier webinar on attitude, power of attitude. So it is all same thing. Attitude is everything. If your attitude is there, your dedication will come, your acceptance to the work will come, and ownership will come. This is how we will end up today's webinar. Now I'm open for the forum for any kind of questions if anyone has. Yeah.
Mr.
I'm
Naveen,
open for the questions now.
I'll just say some few words, one sentence, two sentences, if you permit me.
Yeah, please. Now it is open.
Yeah, so it's not just a question, but just a discussion that, yes, you very rightly said the quality does not start from the site. It starts from within.
Yes.
The person, and right from supervisor to the top management, everybody has to be included for the quality of a project. Very rightly said. Secondly, I would like to say that, yes, in one slide you said the compaction and curing is one of the key factors. But I will add on that, yes, every stage of concrete making, right from batching till curing, which includes finishing also, which includes your batching, transportation, everything. I think that does, adds into the quality of the end product or the concrete, what we produce, what we put in, what we make. So I think the precautions has to be made, or the practices has to be followed at every stage of concreting.
Perfectly said.
Not just compaction or curing, but at every stage, as per what, depending on the type of the concrete, depending on the type of the structure, depending type of the member. I think at every stage we have to take care about the concrete, like a small baby what we are nurturing.
That's what. See, someone has to, everyone, not someone, everyone must own the process.
Yes.
It is
Everybody
not
has to own
related
the
only
process.
QC. That QC person should not be blamed for this any kind of failures. It's everyone's responsibility, everyone's accountability. Then only we can accomplish the
Very
structure,
true.
the
Very true.
intent.
The quality, the concrete quality cannot come just from the starting from the raw material quality and making or something like that. No, It is the attitude of everyone, right from supervisor to project manager to the management, that quality will add on to its grace,
Correct.
So that was a little addition or my submission.
No,
And
no,
really,
you're bang on. You're bang on.
yeah,
Perfectly
and
mentioned.
thank you so very much for such an informative lecture. Yes, and I hope to see you soon on more informations on concrete,
Yeah, please,
especially.
please. I think I'll be giving lectures through. I have even I do give webinars in so many institutions and corporates. So definitely we can meet anytime. Where do you work, Sunit, if you don't mind?
No, because I have met some accidents and also I am not working at the moment and I'm staying in Delhi.
Oh, no problem. Nothing stops. Don't worry.
Oh yeah, but
Everything is time limited and
regardless of the
everything will come
age,
out.
I really like to learn or hear people like you. At
No,
least
no, it's my pleasure.
you gain something. Even if you gain one slide out of all this, then you gain something.
Perfect. Perfectly
That's
said.
it. Yeah. So thank you so very much for your
Yeah.
beautiful lecture and informative
Yeah,
lecture.
I think there are some questions asked by Mr. Rakesh Sahu.
Yeah,
Rakesh, are you
please.
there still? I think you mentioned in your chat box. Can you just say yes if you are there? Okay, let me read these questions. How much time compaction in concrete? See, compact to go with a theory, to go with a practical approach. In a both the ways, using vibrator shall not be used for long time. It shall not be kept inside the concrete for long time. It is only for consolidation of the concrete and removing the air voids from within the concrete. So you should not use vibrators for long time, or you should not use vibrators as a flow or to spread the concrete. I hope I'm answering this as per your expectation. Second question he has mentioned is, in my site, some structure efflorescence are show after 7 days. Can you please can elaborate? Efflorescence is see, it's a very common thing where the water is passing through its core and coming to the surface. It is taking efflorescence from inside. So it shows that there are micro cracks built inside the concrete, which are not intended. So the compaction, if the compaction is ensured properly, the efflorescence or kind of white patches coming out of the concrete can be avoided. First, second thing, use a proper admixture or a mix with intended workability. Don't use too much workable concrete or too much slump concrete. Nowadays people using PC, so they will not they will get a very good slump at the initiative, but it is called as a flow. So too much flow concrete also is dangerous. So use a appropriate flow, which is almost 400 to 450 with PC based admixture during the pour, which is good enough to avoid this kind of micro cracks during the initial setting. So that I can tell. But now, once since you have encountered this after 7 days, it is very difficult to address it. Provided just keep observing. If more efflorescence is coming out of the concrete, then you might have to address on the positive side with some kind of coating. That I can assure. Okay, so I believe it was a fruitful session for everyone. And Bala Sahib, last time you were having a very good questionnaire. I don't know why you are silent this time. Are you there, Mr. Bala? See, this is what I face during weekends. Anyways, so Dinesh, you had some questions at the first stage. Are you available now? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm there.
Yeah, you had some questions which we kept it for last.
No. The question was regarding only the cracks which are appearing on the surface of slab recently,
Okay.
recently cast slab. So how we
Okay.
can avoid that cracks?
Hmm.
We were
So I hope I
discussing
could answer
about
that.
yeah.
Yeah. Bala Sahib, you are unmuted. You were telling something.
No, sir, this session also very good, sir. I have learned a lot of things from this session.
Thank you. Thank you. So hope we'll come out with new topics. In fact, you can always suggest some new topics which you want to hear, so that we can arrange for separately on that. Okay. So thank you for patiently listening, and I'm very sorry very less people could join this time also. Let us keep it on everyone's approachable and good time. Thank you, Tejaswini, for arranging this.
Yeah. Thank you, Navin Kumar. It was a very great session. I hope the participants has taken the great benefit out of this, and we will have more such session like this in future. Okay. Yeah. Thank you everyone for participating.
Yeah, thanks everyone for contributing their opinions also. We'll see you soon. For now, bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Thank you,
Bye.
Naveen ji. Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.